Hello, as promised, here's the sort of screencast to guide you through what we covered in the using Facebook adverts like a pro. Firstly, as we asked you on the day, if you enjoyed the workshop, please by all means go to our Facebook page and rate us. It's dead simple. Go onto Facebook, find the Lucky 6 page. If you literally search Lucky 6 Marketing, you'll be able to find it. Once on the page, you just have to scroll down a little, and on the right you'll see a share your opinion about Lucky 6 Marketing. So please honestly share your opinion. If you thought it was good, give us a rating, and if you have a spare minute or so, feel free to also write a review. So firstly, we'd like to say thank you to everyone that attended. Neil from Yellowfin, who's the web designer in the group. We've known Neil for years now. If you're looking for a really good web designer in the sort of Preston area, make sure you get in contact with Neil. We can highly recommend him. We had Steve from ADR Mediation. Steve is really well networked, know loads of people, so if you need to get in contact with anyone, or if you need to find a business that does something or other, Steve, I guarantee, will know somebody. And also, of course, if you need any mediation, get in contact with him. And finally, I'd like to thank Jen, who sent along Charlotte, Jenny and Simon from Lancaster University, and Jen is obviously in charge of employment and recruitment services at Lancaster Uni. Had a conversation with Jen recently, so if you're looking to get any sort of like new skills in your business or looking to employ someone, make sure you chat to her team, because they're absolutely fantastic what they do in Lancaster Uni. So without further ado, run over what we did on Friday. I have our advert set up. If you may remember, we ran that advert for Carousel Photography, which is one of our businesses, and it didn't quite work. And this is kind of why, if you look at the metrics here on the right, we weren't really targeting enough people, and we were just targeting Lytham only. So the £10 that we put into it just didn't really hit the market we wanted it to hit, and it cost us quite a lot just to even get one page like. So what I'm going to do today is sort of set up a new advert and kind of innovate off the results we got on this one. And as I'm setting it up, I'll show you where to click all the buttons, just in case you've forgotten from Thursday night, and then you've got this video then to reference whenever you need to run over how to set one up. So firstly, to begin your advert, you need to go to Facebook. So of course, when you land on Facebook, you'll be on your timeline. Once you've logged in, it'll look like this. It'll have random content on that, just like my timeline does. And the place you need to go is down here on the left. There's a little button here called Advert Manager. It kind of looks like a small little blue graph. If you click that, that'll take you into Advert Manager. And like Terry said on Thursday night, you need to be doing this on the desktop, because mobile phone will not really give you all the options that are here. The kind of way that Facebook has designed their mobile app is to make it so that it loads quickly. That's their main sort of ambition of the app, and because of that, they've taken out a lot of the functionality that you would otherwise get on the desktop. You can do quite a lot of boosting of content from your mobile phone, but you will struggle to do these more advanced sort of advert things. So when your Advert Manager loads, this is what it looks like. As you can see, we've got like our historical ads that we've run here, and these go back years for us, but this will most likely be empty for you if you're just starting out on it. I'll just bring the screen in so it's in a bit. Okay, so that's what the screen should look like, and the place you want to start is this big green button top right hand side that says Create Adverts. So if you click that, and then what should start loading now is the place where we select what type of advert we want. It's quite a smart little platform. It remembers adverts you started building but didn't quite finish. So here's one that I started building and haven't finished. It's up to you if something like this pops up, whether you carry on or not. But for today, I'm going to start again. So these are the types of adverts Terry ran through. I would advise when you're doing this yourselves, if you just hover over them and then hover over the info button, it'll give you a summary of what they do, and that's going to be one of the best ways of kind of finding out which ones you want to use and which ones you don't want to use. But the awareness ones we tend to see as, sort of like a boost kind of post. The ones we'll be using today are these ones that they called considerations, and mainly the engagement one. and the conversion ones tend to be a bit more sort of technical. So these are probably great for Neil when he's building his websites. I'd say for probably the rest of you, if you start on these engagement ones here, and that's what we want to go on to, because we want page likes, and that's where page likes are contained. You click that and then scroll down to the advert. So you'll want to name your campaign here. As it says in this little drop down box, a campaign can contain multiple adverts, so we'll most likely have a campaign already set up for carousel, but I'll set up a new one just for the sake of this. So I shall name it carousel page likes. Okay, and then obviously select page likes, and that is the start of your advert. As you can see, you can select post engagements, event responses, and offer claims. So it might be worth just clicking through some of these, getting familiar with them, and finding out what's the best fit for what you want to achieve with your adverts. And then I click continue, and it'll take us to that window that we've spent quite a bit of time on during the workshop, and that is choosing your audience and choosing your sort of bid rate for the advert. But first things first, we need to select the right page that we want to apply this advert to. So obviously we're looking for page likes for carousel photography. Unless you run multiple pages, this won't be an issue. It'll just pull up any pages that you have access to as an admin. So of course, you need to have admin access to any pages you wish to run adverts for. And the first place you probably need to check and sort of have a look at is your audience definition here on the right. This is kind of an overview of where your advert's going to be placed and the sort of audience that it'll be put in front of. And then back in the main window here, if you scroll down a little, now it has advanced options like uploading already defined audiences. That's more of an advanced user thing, so we'll be creating an audience from scratch here. As you can see, it defaults, it knows where I am at the moment, so it's targeting Preston, but we want to get a bit more specific than that. As I said with the last advert we did, we targeted Lytham, and we targeted Lytham only, and that was it. And it didn't do too well for us, and what we found was Lytham obviously has a high bid rate because a lot of people are targeting adverts there. So today we are going to target Wood Plumpton, which is just down the road from our office, so it's a great place for us. It's where we'd like to get some customers from. As you can see, it's found it here. It's important to look at these and make sure that they're in the UK, because you don't want to be targeting adverts to places that have the same name but are in America. Obviously, unless you want to sell things to America, but for us, for photography, that would be no use at all. It always kind of gives you a broad sort of targeting around that area, so again, we're going to narrow that down to the current city only. And when they say city, they basically mean any sort of location. It's what they call local towns, and practically anywhere a city, so don't get caught up on that too much. And as well as Wood Plumpton, I think I'm going to target Preston, because obviously we are just outside the centre of Preston. There we go. And again, I'm just going to target Preston only, because otherwise it takes us up into the outskirts of the Lake District with the 40 km radius it wants us to put on. So as you can see now, potential audience is 42,000 people. Estimated daily reach will be 2,000 to 5,000 people per day. And obviously that depends on the budget. If we had enough budget, then that's definitely what we'd hit, but we're going to be keeping this kind of small still, doing another £10 to test the market out. And then if the £10 works, then we'll look at upping the sort of budget we're paying for it. So now we've set the location, we need to set who we're targeting. So we're going to target. Now we have a good authority from a photographer person we know who's been doing photography for years, that women are the ones that make all the purchasing within photography, so we'll target women only. Just because it's more efficient for us. If we know they're the ones that are buying, then we want to be putting the advert in front of them and instigating that buy. Like Terry said, languages, you don't need to touch that unless you are targeting people that don't speak the native language. As you can see, it's already filled in some of these because it knows the page that I'm promoting is a photography page, so it's automatically added interests. They're good choices in my opinion, so I'll leave them. And the next place you need to start is this little box here, which says Add Demographics. Now it's on suggestions at the moment, so it's quite smart. It will pull out quite decent suggestions. But if this is your first advert, then there may be some information that Facebook might be missing, so it can be worth you filling it in by hand and having a search through as well what demographics apply to you. So if you click the Browse tab next to it, this is when you can really start to narrow it down. So obviously in demographics you can choose just about any metrics that applies to that person, and again this is from what they've filled in, it's also from the activities of the people on Facebook. We want to target parents, so there's a section here for parents, and now we can start to filter out which parents we want to target and which parents we don't want to target. So I'll literally just tick all these age ranges here. Now if you take note, as what it says up here with the detailed targeting, includes people who match at least one of the following. So people don't have to match all of these metrics, they only have to match one of them for the advert to be placed in front of them. So keep that in mind when you're selecting your audience. I would also say it's probably worth selecting all the ones that apply and then having a look at your audience details and seeing how much it's going to hit, and then if it's not quite right, if it's too much or too little, then take out ones that aren't as essential. So I think we spoke to the Lancaster uni lot, to Charlotte, Jenny and Simon, about targeting people on the Lancaster campus. You can do that under this Education tab here, and then School Universities. When you click that, you can literally search where you want to place that advert. So for you guys, that would be just typing in Lancaster Uni. There you go, Lancaster University, and then you'd select that. So obviously you can see here on Lancaster University you can target 91,000 people. I'm guessing that probably means people who are currently there and people who have maybe graduated, unless you guys do have 91,000 people on your campus, which is totally possible because it is a massive campus. So it'd be worth just going through these metrics in the Browse tab and finding who you want to target and what will be useful for you guys. This is where you can really start to unlock Facebook. Like I was saying, this is like 90% of what Facebook is. It's a huge database of practically everyone that uses it. So you've got 1.5 billion users. You can practically target all of those people through all these metrics. So it is well worth knowing the objective of your advert and who you want to target, and then you filter them out of these, and that's what makes Facebook so powerful. So as you can see now, I've selected all these parents from these locations on the map, and this is the potential reach, 26,000 people. I'll be hitting 1,000 to 4,000 people per day, which was better than last time. If I flick back quickly, yeah, so last time, and it's not saying how many, potential reach 1,500, 100 people to 400 people per day. So we've got a significantly better chance now that we'll be hitting people of use to us in this advert. So now it'd literally be a matter of placing the advert, setting the budget and letting it run to see how well it does. So we'll go on to the set budget here. Again, pay note to what it says. Daily budget £25 per day, and like I've just said, we want to do £10 is our lifetime budget. So first thing to do is switch to lifetime budget. This is how you control your spend, because believe me, Facebook will really enjoy you spending serious amounts of money. That's what they're good at. So there we go, £10. Define the date. So I only want to do it, I think as well this time, we did £10 last time over 2 days. This time we're going to do it over 1 day. That way we're increasing our maximum bid. And then a handy little tip here is on the bid amount. If you go from automatic to manual, here it gives you the suggested bid rate, which it says is £3.23 per bid to get a page like. So this is giving us a kind of like estimate as to our market that we're targeting and how much we need to bid. However, I'll leave it on automatic. This is where Neil, this is where you were asking about impressions. You can charge on the impressions, or you can charge per page like. Again, that's a bit more of an advanced feature. I would say if you're just starting out, leave it on impressions only, Neil. If you're quite used to Google Adverts, feel free to change that. Finally, last part of this section is sort of delivery type, advert scheduling. I would say just leave these as they are to start with until you've got a bit more familiar with it, and then once you've run through adverts and you have got sort of a bit better feel for this, then look at what they can provide if you change them. Finally, advert set name. So this is like the name for this advert you're setting up here that will go within the campaign. So I would probably call this, for us, I'd call it Preston and Woodpumpton parents. Just so when I look at it in the, that's about right, parents. Yeah, so when you look at it in the thing, you can identify the sort of metrics you have in there. When you press continue, once all that's fine, it'll then take you on to the next section. This is probably the more enjoyable section. This is where you get creative and you use sort of like your marketing know-how. As you can see here, you can have slightly different formats. You can have a single image to help promote the page likes, a single video or a slideshow. If you remember, Terry took you through these, so it depends what you want to build. Upload your pictures here. It's always worth having some really good stock images, as we know from the last advert that we ran. Let me take you back to it. We went through this with you guys on the actual workshop, and we actually isolated the image that works best for this advert. So that's a bit of intel we can use to optimize these. So what I would do to then improve this advert when it's running is I will use that picture only, which is this picture right here. So I'll upload. And what I would do with this picture is I would try different text images. So I'd do like an A/B test, sort of running multiple adverts and then seeing which one works best, so we can narrow down the copy that goes with the adverts. So again, you need your text here. This text here goes along the bit here, and headline. Now the thing is, the headline is really important because it's kind of like the call to action. So in the text and the headline, we need things that appeal to our audience. So this is where what we would probably do for this advert now is we would have a sit down, the three directors, so Terry, me, myself and Phil, and we would actually brainstorm who our audience are and what would motivate them to like the page, and we'd come up with a few ideas. And this is probably one of the key areas that you need to focus on. There's loads of resources online about building sort of advert headlines, so I'd recommend maybe some further reading if you really do want to get into this. Alternatively, you can do what we did and just test out some ideas you have on a low budget and see how they go. But once you sort of fill in all this section, you can preview it on this side. You can have a look what it looks like on mobile phones, desktop columns and stuff. And that's pretty much it. More than anything, I would say just have the confidence to go in there and fill in some of the details really and see how it goes. Once you've filled in all this bit, you just click place order, it will go off. Facebook will probably spend half an hour to an hour verifying it, which is just done mainly through machines, so they'll analyse it, and then sometimes it might get flagged up to actual people. But if you follow all the terms and conditions that we went over about not putting too much text in, you'll be absolutely fine. If you're using solid images like this, you'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, have a go. Let us know how it goes, what you think, and just keep in contact really. I hope you found this helpful, this video. Please go back and replay it as much as you like. What I'll probably do is I will itemize the different sections for you in the description. So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, if you look in the description, I'll put in the sort of minutes where it's like, defining audience, spend, and then obviously the creative stuff you're looking at here. Once again, thank you very much for coming on the Lucky 6 Marketing Workshop. We will let you know about future ones, and thank you so much as well for your feedback on the actual night. It's been absolutely fantastically helpful for us. So it's been very nice to work with you, and hopefully we will chat to you all very soon. Thank you very much.